What's going on, y'all? It's LJ. Now, being surrounded by music is a personal choice, and it's one I certainly, and many others, wouldn't change. Something that's always fascinated me, though, is the inner workings, the mechanics of how the mind chooses which one of these albums to spin. Seeing a stack of records on a friend's bureau back in the day, and wondering how the hell they, or I in my own spinning binges, had mentally moved from Megadeth to Mellencamp. And while that may be a bit of an extreme for a single night of playing records, and the albums that fly off the shelf tend to be at least somewhat related, here's a handful from my collection that I've been digging this week, a couple of which I just can't seem to wrench off the turntable, which means that in one way or another, they'll somehow inspire the next handful that come off the shelf. Like all great albums, these are all old friends, and despite the preference of those with an earshot, they just sound better the louder they're played. Here we go. First out of the gate, the self-titled debut from Legs Diamond from 1977. When an album reaches out and grabs you by the throat within seconds of the needle hitting the groove, I mean instantaneously, and before you even sit down, you're generally onto something. Album opener, It's Not the Music, does just that, with Rick Sanford's vocals that just glide over an anthemic mid-tempo groove. Stinging cymbals, biting riffs from Roger Romeo, a well-placed Hammond organ, and a perfect 70s hard rock production. One of the greatest album openers ever. It's an all-inclusive sample of what's to come for the rest of the album. Along with their second record, the debut is a rock-solid 70s hard rock release with plenty of teeth, no weak moments, a touch of pomp, and plenty in common with Rush's debut and the first couple Angel records. This is the soundtrack to my vision of Los Angeles in 1977. Matter of fact, the punchy, keyboard-heavy 6+ minute side 2-track Rat Race was featured on the obscure 76 LA soundtrack album. No matter how you slice it, no 70s rock collection is complete without multiple Mercury Skyline labels, and no 70s hard and heavy collection is complete without the first two releases from California's Legs Diamond. In their own words, mean as hell with a touch of class. Next up, spinning in the background, and probably you can't hear it, is a self-titled debut from Angel from 1975. The needle drops, the spaceship lands, the ramp lowers, and Angel emerges dressed head to toe in white. For as progressive as that sounds, and for as often as progressive rock falls dead flat on my ears, it's really only minor touches, and the straight-ahead rock factor absolutely outweighs any progressive elements. Unless you're Motorhead, let's be honest, just about every band needs at least one album to find themselves, and after this debut, Angel's progressive elements are more or less extinct, they're shown the door, and they become straight-ahead 70s pump rock. Another perfectly played card when it comes to album openers here, with soaring lead-off track, Tower. Like Legs Diamond, the first track on the first album, the first side, is the first impression, and first impressions can't be second best. On Tower is where we first meet Frank Domino's killer vocals, Punky Meadows' razor-sharp riffs, Greg Gifria's keyboard wizardry. Reportedly discovered, and then label mates at the time with Kiss, those white flowing outfits got him nailed by the press as the heavenly knights to Kiss's satanic darkness. Whatever. I'm sure that didn't help him win over many rebellious teenagers, but knee in the nuts tracks like Rock and Rollers and On were plenty hint enough of the heavier direction the band would head, and standouts like Sunday Morning or Tower are easily the best of both prog and hard rock worlds, and not too terribly far from anything that Rush or even the more obscure Pavlov's Dog had done or was doing at the time. Not without its own stab at a power ballad in the moody track Mariner. Angel's debut is one of my absolute favorite albums, and it's a pure 70s production and energy that'll absorb you like a dry sponge. Carrying on from 1976, here's Give Us a Wink by Sweet. This, I'll be honest, it's an album I don't spin too terribly often, and it's not my favorite album by Sweet. But it is one from a band that I absolutely love, and a band with a wickedly varied history that's worth exploring in your own spare time. See, Sweet's Give Us a Wink is a wild and swirling consortium of 70s hard rock styles. You've got tracks like Action, which has been covered by everyone from Def Leppard to Raven, and Yesterday's Rain. See, those tracks are wickedly energetic, manic party anthems, while tracks like Lies in Your Eyes and White Mice, they rev up the multi-harmonied Queen like Glam Factor. Yeah, you got that here too. Lady Starlight kind of turns things around a little bit and gives you a 1976 AM radio-friendly cut. And for that, remember, this is Sweet. And so that would have been a precursor to their own huge radio hit, Love Is Like Oxygen, which would absolutely infiltrate the FM dial just a couple of years in the future. The 7-minute Healer changes things up even again by plodding along menacingly with a throbbing beat. And we're not done yet, because Cockroach then hauls the absolutely unmistakable, don't even try to deny it, Led Zeppelin influence out of the closet. Start to finish, Give Us a Wink. Man, it's the common denominator in a 70s hard rock collection. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's all done well. It's a head-swirling, floor-vibrating punch of a record that'll make your parents wish you would freaking just wear headphones and a die-cut cover that reaffirms, well, you can enjoy music however you want. Sorry, only vinyl is real. Closing things out, here's the last one that came off the shelf, and it's the 1975 debut from Moxie, Canada's own. And apart from very few areas in the United States, a band Canada wisely kept for themselves. Because let's be honest here, unless your band was named Rush, if you were Canadian, you had little chance of making any real headway in the US in the 70s. And that's a damn shame. For as heavy as they were, Moxie plays it coy at first, opening with a couple slower, more restrained cuts, like the slow-burning, almost ethereal Fantasy and Sail On, Sail Away. Now, they both rough up the dirt a little bit come chorus time, and Fantasy closes out with an ever-elevating crescendo, powered by a burning solo by none other than Tommy Bolin, who's all over this record. Fueled by yet another 70s rock golden set of vocal cords, Buzz Shearman, and rooted in Zeppelin and Deep Purple influences, Moxie's debut is jacked wall-to-wall with bottom-end rumbling, six-string snapping, speaker smoking, thumping heavy tracks like Still I Wonder, Moonrider, Train, and Out of the Darkness. Meat and potatoes, ham-fisted, heavy and punchy. This one's as essential as breathing. Grab it, eh? And so there you go. There's a few of the bands that have been in my ears for years, and records that have been off my shelves and spinning on repeat over the past couple of weeks. Where the mood mechanics carry it from here? That's anyone's guess. Thanks for swinging in, be good to one another, and I'll catch you next time. Later.